Just one more second. Okay, we're all set.
It says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. So-
Right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready to go?
We are ready.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the, excuse me, April 7th meeting, 2021 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We will open with the roll call. Mr. Urice.
Here.
Ms. Hofstadter.
Here,
Mr. Kiokio.
Here.
Mr. Sylvain.
Here.
And Arnold Finaldi is here. We do not need to seat any alternates for this meeting. I just want to read the Zoom intro that we read at the beginning of every meeting. As a reminder, this meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Just a heads up, if you call in, we may have to mute and unmute your phone to avoid an echo. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting, any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to Sharon Calitro, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Let's move forward. The first item on our agenda is acceptance of the minutes of March 17th. I'm sorry, yeah, March 17th, 2021. I believe those were distributed via email to all commission members.
Yes.
Correct, Joanne?
yes,
Unless there's any questions or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the minutes of the
Who
meeting of March.
seconded?
Perry.
Perry, that's what I thought. Okay, Joel and Perry.
Okay. A
Thank you.
motion was made and seconded to accept the minutes of the meeting of March 17th, 2021. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are accepted. For the record, commission members, our next regular meeting is scheduled for April 21st, 2021. We're going to move right to public hearings. This evening, I will turn this over to Joel Urice, and I'm going to zoom out. Jennifer, if you can notify me when to zoom back in for Global Partners, I will be all set.
I'll do that, Arnie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Joel.
Are you going to share, Jen? I did it.
Joel
Yep.
muted.
he's on mute. I can't hear.
Thank you for the heads up. Helen, can you read the public notice?
Hold
Oh,
on.
where do I
It's
get
on the
that?
screen. It's on the.
It's- Can you see it, Helen? It's right on the screen.
Legal notice, public hearing. No, this looks, all right, hang on. I don't know. It says legal notice applications, agenda will be
Yep.
posted pursuant to executive order. Notice is hereby given, the application will be heard. Public hearings. So is that what I read?
Yes,
Public hearings.
read
mid-
read
the
number
mid-
1, please.
Okay, Nijane Plaza LLC, application for special exception, revised site plan approval to permit storage of concrete aggregates or manufacture of concrete and concrete products, storage and bituminous product, storage and sale of building materials and storage of construction equipment, Nijane Pool Industrial Site in the IG 80 zone, 44 Payne Road, a lot, well, the numbers N12004, SE number 776. And it's signed Arnold Finaldi, Chairman.
Okay, well, let's just jump right into this thing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my name is Ward Mizuko. I'm a lawyer here in Danbury, and I'm appearing tonight with Ralph Gallagher, who will take us through the site plan in a little bit. But I'd like to just reintroduce the project as I guess you've all seen Jennifer's very comprehensive staff report, including a history of the project. We were before this commission some months ago, realized that we did indeed need a wetlands permit, withdrew the application, went back for the wetlands permit, and returned here with a few tweaks to the plan. So I know you have a busy agenda tonight. What I hope to do is reintroduce the project and to save for a later date a response to Jennifer's comments and comments of other city officials. Mr. Gallagher will make some tweaks to the plan along the way, and we hope, having done that, to return on your agenda of the 21st. But if I could share the screen, I'd like to just take you through a few documents that I had from before and show you the latest site plan.
Sure.
That be okay?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Joanne, can you share his?
Yeah,
There we
It's
go.
okay. He just has to do it. It's all set. There we go.
So this will look familiar. I'm just using some slides from the previous presentation, but the first is a depiction of the 8,000 square foot building. There's currently a much smaller building on the property, and the proposal, as Ralph will explain, is to enlarge it somewhat and to seek approval for outdoor storage areas for various building materials. The site, I'll come back to this. The site, as you probably recall, is on Payne Road. This side of Payne Road is Danbury. This side is Bethel. The Danbury side is all IG-80, where the most intense uses in the city are permitted. And the subject site is depicted here in yellow. There's the Jehovah's Witnesses facility to the north. There are other industrial uses proceeding up north on Payne Road, as well as other industrial uses proceeding south from the site. This gives you a little better view of the site. I'll just trace it for you. As you can see, there's a relatively small existing building. There's, well, I should pause to say that when we obtained an approval some years ago to build an 11,000 square foot building, the owner at that point installed the required screening, installed the driveway, installed some drainage, a sidewalk in front. See the sidewalk there. Dedicated a strip of land to the city. Unfortunately, almost the only thing that the applicant didn't do was build the building. And eventually the approval did lapse, as Jennifer pointed out to us. So that is what necessitates a reapplication. And this is just another view of the property, and you can see, although this was taken, I guess, last summer, you can see that there's pretty good screening in place around the property. At this point, let me call up the site plan itself. Actually, before we, let me turn the site plan over to Ralph at this point, and then I'd like to just give you a few concluding comments about the operations, because I know that's an issue of importance to the planning department.
Me, I'm screwed up.
Ralph, can you pitch in here?
Yeah, can you get that plan all the way up on the board?
Is that, can you see that okay, Ralph?
No, it's over on the left. It's real tiny. Can everybody see it?
Yeah, you have to move up a couple of slides, I believe. If this is
Yeah,
a-
you're down too far, Ward. You have to
Three.
move up a little bit.
Move up 3 slides.
Like, is that not good?
No,
No.
you're still on question. You're on your last slide. You need to move
Just
your
move up your
slides
slides.
up.
I think if you just click on the slide you want up, it'll be right there.
Yeah, you're clicked on questions or comments, Ward. That's what's on our screen.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Let me see what happened there.
Oops.
Whoops.
Let me share a different item. I apologize for that. I see what happened. Okay, how's that?
There you go.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry about that, guys.
Okay, good evening. For the record, my name is Ralph Gallagher. I'm a licensed professional engineer, Danbury, and the engineer of record, and was the engineer when we got the 11,000 square foot building approved back in 2009, I believe. So as Ward just mentioned, since then, the applicant has put up all the screening, sidewalk, the entrance, the drainage. All that's left really is to take this 1,000 square foot building and add on and make it a 7,000 square foot building. So the other things that are in the comments, which we'll get to at the next meeting, involves the area to the north and slightly to the west of the building or behind the building from Payne Road. There's areas to store construction equipment, to store construction materials. And the big dig right now is what goes where, and does it really have to have a specific designation? And the planning staff feels that it does, and the logistics of construction may dictate otherwise, but that's the crux of the staff report, other than some minor things that we do need to tweak to create the thing. But in general, we have like just under a 2-acre parcel here with, like I say, a 1,000 square foot building on there currently, going to a 7,000 square foot building. We had approval in 2009 for an 11,000 square foot building. So we have much less impervious area, much less pavement, less parking than the one that was approved in 2009. The drainage has been installed. Everything is all ready to fit up and just build the building. So that's where we are. We have some tweaking to do. We will submit way prior to the next meeting for review and approval. I think we only have one comment from traffic coming in. Is that all, Jennifer? That's really all.
I believe so. I would like to, we're still waiting to hear from Abdul, the
Right.
traffic engineer.
Right.
Once I receive those comments back, I'll distribute accordingly.
Okay. If any of the commissioners don't remember the last public hearing and have any questions on what we're doing or why or what's involved, I'd be happy to answer your questions at this time.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Gallagher or Mr. Mizuko? Oops, I think I'm not muted. Did I get no response?
In that case, perhaps I can just take a moment and explain.
Well, I haven't gotten my shot at yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was out by the property today to, kind of look it over from the outside. I didn't attempt to drive around in there, but it's one of those at your own risk kind of things right now. And I was concerned with the comments that I read. I think it was in Jennifer's reports that I understood coming from the applicant that they thought the not fencing, the
Shrubs.
Screening?
pardon?
The shrub.
Screening?
Yeah, say again.
The screening, sir?
Yes, the screening was adequate. But as I drove by, I could see right through that. I mean, the hedge is old. And at the tops of the hedge, there's a reasonable screening, but the bottom half, maybe even more, is pretty stalking, and you can see right through into the yard. So its value of screening is, in my opinion, limited. So I just give you the opportunity to perhaps relook that response that you gave to Jennifer.
Thank you. We will take a look at that. I should also mention something about the uses on the property. The Nejame family, which owns and operates the property, has really essentially two businesses going on. One is the pool business, which has a great deal of seasonality to it, of course, including the installation of pools in the spring, the delivery of pool water, the maintenance of pools during the summer, closing pools in the fall, repairing equipment, pool equipment and trucks during the winter, all of which require different vehicles, different activities, and different materials to be on site. The second business is a general construction business where they build single-family homes, multifamily dwellings, occasional commercial buildings, and that entails a whole different range of materials that come and go from the site as the need arises. And it's the cyclical nature of those two independent but overlapping businesses that contributes to what goes on. Let me just, if I may, share my screen with one other document. I thought it was in your file from before, but perhaps not. So I sent Jen an additional one. Didn't do that right. There we go. Yeah, this is an operation plan that I believe we submitted actually last August. But I don't expect you to digest it all tonight, but we try to do is to give you a sense of what goes on the property. And it tried to be as comprehensive and inclusive as possible. So that's part of the response that we'll have for Jennifer so that she can factor that into her her analysis as the project goes forward. So at this point, I think that gives you the introduction that we were hoping to provide. If there are any other questions at this early stage, we'd be happy to address them. Otherwise, we'll make the revisions to the site plan that the planning department was looking for. We'll respond more fully to the staff report. And if it's okay with the commission, we'll give them.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Hofstetter.
I have a question about cement. I guess you store it there, and I think I read somewhere through the documentation that you mix it there as well. Is that true?
There is some incidental mixing of cement, but it would be very incidental, like for a masonry project. It's not, the Nejames don't install concrete gunite pools. They install pools with a vinyl liner. So there's no concrete, I guess it would be only very incidental concrete in the pool construction. I don't know
So
if Tom's on.
So we're not talking about you having trucks, the cement
No.
mixing trucks there?
No.
All right, so it'd be smaller, a lot smaller than that.
Right, a lot of different kinds of trucks, pump, water tankers, backhoes, trailers, bulldozers, but no cement mixers. And I don't envision that there ever would be cement mixers there.
Okay, and are the tankers the biggest trucks basically that are, come to the site then, would you say?
I would say so.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Salvain or Mr. Teokil, any questions?
Yes, and this might be a question more for staff, but regarding your question on the screening, I thought I read somewhere a recommendation to actually remove that screening in order to improve traffic sightlines. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Well, we put the screening, just for history, they put the screening up. It grew really well and did its job. And then there was a complaint about the sight line. So they cut the top off so that you could see over to see around the corner. So it's kind of a, you do what you're told, no matter what the result.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Just to interject, when I was out there today, I would have probably had to stand on the roof of my SUV to see over those bushes. So they must have been cut back a long time ago.
No,
If it was an over the top sightline issue.
right.
right. And that actually touches on another point. If I can just share my screen again, this is, I think, is relevant to your question here. Did I get I got to get this one off and then I can get the other one on. There we go. Okay, my apologies for fumbling through, but there is a trade-off between the screening and the sight line. You can see the sight line here, and one of the comments that we got was to better align this driveway with Buff Lane. But frankly, there's not a lot of traffic from Buff Lane, and there's very little traffic conflict as between Buff Lane and the driveway. The bigger challenge is to get a long truck, looks like one there, successfully to make a left turn when the sight distance is relatively short here. And to have a better defined entrance and exit would make it actually more dangerous for the trucks. I actually stopped out there and talked to the drivers myself. And what they do is they start toward the south end of the site and where they have a little longer sight visibility and try to get across safely. And they always have done it safely into the right lane going northbound. If they start on this lane, it's a steeper slope and less visibility. So it's a conversation that we'll have to continue with the traffic authorities, but the driveway, which was approved before and installed according to the prior approved plan, is probably shouldn't be changed, but
Well,
we can return to that.
if for the record, Ralph Gallagher again, I believe in the staff report, it notes that the last comment from Mr. From the construction was to make the island that separates the two lanes a run over. So the trucks can run over it, not hurt it, not bother it, but it's still there for separation for cars and smaller trucks. So that's what we're going to make that as a run over. I think it already is, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Just observation from today, when I was out there, Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
I didn't see any divider there. I pulled into that area and it must be really mountable because I
It
didn't
is, yeah.
I didn't even feel a bump whenever I turned around in that drive.
Move your cursor, Ward. It's right there. It's colored right in the middle of the driveway. Can you see it?
I see that. Yeah, okay, I do see that.
It's there.
All right.
Well,
Okay, commissioners, any other questions for now?
Thank you.
Okay, I have a couple of questions on the interior design, the interior flow of this project. Typically, in the years I've been on the planning commission, which is quite a few now, but whenever we have a request, a special request to store outdoor materials, we have always required defined storage areas. And typically they would be built with, big concrete blocks of, 4x4 or by 4 or something like that. And so that, it's just not willy-nilly. Today we want to put in an extra load of sand or something that this bin doesn't occur. You couldn't just throw it over there where the gravel was supposed to be. And I haven't seen anything in this plan that shows that kind of a separation. I mean, what I saw back there were piles of stuff here and there, and a huge pile of looked like chipped up asphalt. Was that what it's back there?
Millings, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when they mill the roads. But I'm the way it's laid out. I mean, if there aren't defined areas, it's difficult to define where are the turning radiuses, where is the traffic flow, if those things aren't stashed, if you will, out of the way, as opposed to, well, we've got extra, just dump it in front, and we'll drive around it. So
right.
you're going to get some pushback from me if those storage areas are not defined as to location and volume.
So
Well, to answer that, if I might just answer that one general question, because you were commenting that we might be dumping sand or dirt in the front. It's all defined in the back and fenced. So all behind the building, it's all fenced in. And the only thing we're resisting on a little bit is defining each one, because if we say it's going to be topsoil and it's gravel, we're gonna, you could come out and give us a cease and desist, and that seems silly.
I'm less concerned about what's in each storage area as I am that the storage areas are defined and not, if you will, malleable, fluid. They're not fluid.
Well, this is not a great vantage point, but here are some concrete barriers between different different types of material, so that they're not dumping anything in the driveway which goes around the building. It's off to the north side or the rear, which we can't see too well from this point.
Yeah, and there is no traffic flow around the building really, because the backside is storage and construction equipment, parking and use. And the traffic would come in the front and either go to the right up to the where the tankers park, or to the left down on the other side, never around the building really.
I thought I saw a lot of tankers on the left side when I was there today.
Yeah, left and right, but not, they're not required. Nobody's required to drive around the building. You certainly can drive around the building if you open both gates, but we've gated in the area of the storage as we thought we were requested to do.
So you offload all your materials in the front and payload them back to the areas where you're going to store them? Or
No,
do you actually have trucks drive around there and dump?
Yes, we have
Okay,
trucks. driving.
so there is some traffic flow that goes through there. Is that-
Yes, there are construction equipment that goes through there, but it's not, when I talk about traffic, I talk about everybody in this way around and then back out.
No, that's
Okay.
just this traffic flows. That's
Yes,
a safer way to do business.
yes.
And just that you indicated tankers on the right side when the ones I saw were on the left side. If you're looking in the gate, says to me that things can be in different places at different times. So I just gave you a heads up. You're going to have some pushback on that, and the building itself. So I assume we haven't talked about what activities actually occur in the building, as in, cutting stone or whatever that you're looking to muffle the sound from the neighbors across the street as going in there. But from what you're telling me, all of that traffic goes in and out of the front of that building. That's the only way in and out of that building is the front. But
That's
I
not
don't
what I
think,
said.
huh?
That's not what I said.
No, I know that's not what you said, but I don't think that's what the plan's showing. And if you have access ways to the building in the back, then you no doubt have traffic going around there. It's not just parking. So,
Yes, yes. But the traffic is one truck here, one truck there, and accessing the building, there's not multiple vehicles, perhaps even in a day going in and out. Could be, but they're not, it's not sort of like you would consider parking spaces in and out all the time.
yeah, where are the parking spaces?
Parking spaces are on the east and the southwest of the property front.
Yep. So can you point them to me?
They're on the there's a row of them to the right of the building and a row of them down to the left of the building.
Okay. So the ones that are over on the left of the building, that's where the tankers would be parked. Is that correct?
Where you said you saw tankers, that's parking, yes.
Okay. So equipment is taking up some of the designed parking.
Yes.
Okay. And since that's not the kind of parking we think about when we talk about the required number of parking spaces, do you still have, with the leftovers, enough parking spaces for the size of the building?
We meet the number required by the regulations,
That's right.
and there would be spaces for 4 vehicles within the proposed building.
So no activity could occur in those 4 spaces within the building, other than parking a vehicle.
Right, they would occupy some area for sure. They might be there because of the need to work on them, or they might just be there to get them off the lot.
Okay, I'll just throw that as food for thought for Jennifer for another meeting. Okay, is that it, gentlemen?
Yes, thank you very much for all your time tonight.
Okay.
Joel,
Now,
Joel.
I'm not done here with the application.
Okay,
Yes, Ellen. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jennifer. Is anything here?
I have a few things, but I just want to make sure the commission doesn't have anything else before I chime in.
Well, I was just going to make calls for other people talking in an approval, but if you would like to bell in now, bell in.
If I could, thank
The-
you.
the-
I
the floor is
appreciate that.
yours.
Thank you. So a couple things, and I want to clarify, at the beginning of the presentation, the project team had said, that they had constructed most of the improvements from the 2004 approval. And some of that may be the case, except there were no permits. There were no zoning certificates of zoning compliance. So there was no determination from the zoning enforcement officer with respect to compliance with the site plan. That was never done. So it's never been determined if whatever improvements were installed were done pursuant to that 2004 plan. I just want the commission to understand that. And with respect to the sight line, that has been an ongoing issue. It was one of those, an unintended consequence. We wanted to screen the property, but lo and behold, Ralph is right. They grew very well, and it became a sightline issue. I believe for the Jehovah Witness property, they couldn't see down the road. So I don't quite remember how the hedgerow was handled. But again, at this point, Attorney Mizuko has said on the record that, it's not just the pool business. You're now bringing, you're doing, the residential development onto that site as well. So now there's even more traffic. So when we looked at it in 2004 as a site plan approval, it was strictly the Nejame pool. Now you're looking at Nejame development, residential. There's a lot of truck traffic going through there. And I'm going to ask Abdul to look at that sightline issue. And if the parking needs to be pushed further into the site so you can improve that landscaping and the screening, that's something that the department will be looking for you to address. And again, I'll wait for Abdul to chime in as well and look at that driveway and, the need for the mountable curb, or if the radii is large enough. Again, when we looked at it 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, there wasn't, a lot of traffic coming in and out of there. And you're asking for 7 or 8 different uses. So there's a lot of traffic coming and going, different types of traffic coming and going. So I just want to make sure that the driveway is constructed and the improvements are made to handle the increase in traffic, types of traffic. Another point I want to make, and Helen had brought up, the storage, in the manufacture of concrete. That's one of the uses you're asking for. And Ward had said it's incidental, and that may be the case, but that's not what you're suggesting on the site plan. And by you, responding, we can't pin down where we want to put where we want to put our materials and, how much. Right now, you need to demonstrate to us that some of these things are in fact incidental. And the only way we're going to know, well, when I say we, the commission, the only way the commission will know that is if there are defined areas with sizes and actual delineated areas, as Joel had suggested. And I had gone through that at length in my staff report. And again, there's no way for us to regulate that. So that's why it's important for those areas to be defined. You need to tell us, this is about where we're going to be storing, the gravel and the stone, and we're going to be storing, you need to tell the commission where those areas are going to be, because that's what your plan will be approved for. And when it comes to determining compliance, that's how the zoning enforcement officer will look. He's going to look at the site plan. So that's why it's important to know those defined areas. Again, it's incidental. Show us that. Right now, it's not entirely clear on the site plan. And I think that's all. I'm looking forward to seeing a full response to the staff report. I mean, we'd received a response back in August. The application was resubmitted. It was a bit disjointed. We didn't get a full response. All we had was an email response from Attorney Mizuko. We'll do this. Well, it was never done. You resubmitted and there was nothing but a site plan. I didn't get the operations plan. I didn't get a full official response to all of my comments. So that is what I'm looking for. I don't want to see a piecemeal response. I want to see a collective response that addresses all the comments, including comments from the commission, because I think that will be a more efficient use of the commission's time so they understand what you're doing. Because I don't know that it's entirely clear with that operation plan. You've got a lot of uses. You have to be able to explain to the commission what's going to be done in the building, what's going to be done outside the building, how you're going to maneuver around the site. That site has to remain clear for emergency vehicles, as well as the operations of the site. That has to be made clear to the commission. So, you know, I don't mean to be the heavy on it, but it's disjointed, and I want the commission to understand fully, because there's a lot of uses that you're requesting, and that needs to be explained.
Just respond briefly to some of that. There are a lot of uses because we want to legitimize everything that has always been done on the site. There are no new uses, no new businesses. The Nee James have been involved in construction almost as long as they've been involved in the pool business. This is not a new thing for them. And I can't explain why there are not inspection records, but Tom Nee James tells me that when he put in the sidewalk, city inspectors were there. When he finished the drainage, he had inspectors look at it. Now, he'd have to, he can confirm some of this himself. I can't attest to what happened to the records, but they've been around doing business long enough to know that you just don't go put in a sidewalk on city property without, or city sidewalk without somebody approving it. But in any event, the points are well taken, and we'll certainly respond more comprehensively.
Okay, is that all, Jennifer?
Yes, thank you.
I have a question for staff here. The operations plan that popped up on the screen earlier in the presentation, I don't recall having seen that. And it looked, just on first blush, rather abbreviated. And all the activities they're talking about doing on this piece of property in the site plan, I would be surprised if that's covered in that abbreviated, what I assume is abbreviated operations plan. So I will give that a good read before the next meeting, but I would expect it to be an operations plan and not some general description of, well, we're going to do this somewhere on the property. Gentlemen, do you have anything more?
No, sir, but we really appreciate all of your time and input tonight.
Okay, well, I'll make final calls. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? None called. Is there anyone who is wanting to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Okay. If unless staff has something else we need to cover, I would entertain a motion to continue.
So moved.
Second.
All right. If there's no discussion, I don't think we need a roll call vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope. This application is continued.
Thank you very much.
You betcha. Good seeing you again.
Good to see you too.
Thank you.
Hi, John.
With that, I will return the gavel over to Chairman Bernaldi and ask him to pop back in with his distinguished leadership.
I just texted him, so you just got to give him a few minutes.
Oh, that's okay. If we weren't live on YouTube, I have a light conversation, but we'll just wait for the chairman. That picture, I really do like it behind your back.
Who, me?
Yeah, behind your
Yeah.
head.
Yes,
He's very talented.
it's very nice.
This is your son that did that?
No, my husband.
Oh, well, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I let him in. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, here's Arnie.
All right. Here's
You're
the
muted,
gavel.
Arnie.
Here's the gavel, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, you're muted, Arnie.
Okay, thank you. And unless there's anything else, we'll pick up right where we left off. We ready to go?
Yep, go ahead. Do you need the legal notice shared again, or are you all set?
No, I got it. I'll read it,
Okay.
just to get things moving.
Yep.
Item 2 under public hearings. Global Partners LP, 4-Star Realty LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan for automotive service station, global gas station in the CG20 zone, 108 Newtown Road and 5 Mountain View Terrace, M10029, M10028, special exception number 720. I will read the legal notice. Applications to be heard by the Planning Commission in public hearings in a web-based meeting hosted on Zoom on April 7th, 2021, 7:30 p.m. Agenda to be posted will include instructions to access the Zoom meeting and application materials. Pursuant to Executive Order Number 71, Section 19C, notice is hereby given that the following application will be heard. 2, Global Partners LP, 4-Star Realty LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan for automobile service station, global gas station in the CG20 zone, 108 Newtown Road and 5 Mountain View Terrace, M10029 and M10028. Special exception number 720. Arnold D. Finaldi Jr., Chairman, posted on city website and sent to town clerk on March 24th, 2021. Commission members, there has been a staff report and other information previously distributed via email. And I think we should be ready to go. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. My name is John Nuff. I'm an attorney with an office at 147 Broad Street in Milford, Connecticut. I'm here tonight on behalf of Global Partners LP. As you noted, this is an application for special exception and site plan approval for a very small expansion of the existing service station located at 108 Newtown Road and 5 Mountain View Terrace. The property is located in the CG20 zone and is just under an acre, about 40,000 square feet. When I say that this is a very small expansion, is about as modest of an application as my guess any special exception would be that's coming before this commission. We are proposing to add one additional dispenser, allow us to add one additional fueling location. So right now there are 9 fueling positions, and with the addition of this dispenser, there'll be 10 fueling positions. So an extremely modest change to the sites. We would also propose to extend the existing canopy by a total of 17 feet. We're also going to take this opportunity to add some substantial landscaping along the northern property line, and we know that Jennifer has written a very thorough staff memo asking for additional landscaping, and that request, along with the request of all the city staff members, will respond at the next meeting. The staff reports have sort of trickled in over the past couple of days, and we want to respond to those in a very comprehensive fashion, along with any of the questions that the commission may have. So we look forward to seeing you again at your next meeting. With me this evening, who's going to walk you through the site plan, looks like he's in the mountains of Maine at a campsite, is Larry Webster from Benesh Engineering. He can walk through the site plan. I would note that our traffic engineer, Steve Ullman, was not available this evening. We have submitted a traffic letter. A little bit of history is, as some of you may know, this site was approved for a convenience store addition of approximately 2,000 square feet back in 2014. With this proposed addition of a dispenser, we have walking away from that approval for convenience store. So actually, the number of trips, peak hour, both morning, afternoon, Saturday, will be less than what this commission approved in 2014. In some cases, rather significantly. The increase over the existing traffic is literally in the single digits at the peak hour, about 7 in and 7 out during the peak hour. So with that very brief introduction, I want to introduce Larry Webster, who will walk you through the site plan.
Thank you, John. I would like to share my screen if I might. Let's see, how about this one?
Hang on, let's see, is it set? Yes.
All right, so you should be seeing the most recent survey of the site. And what we have, does everybody have it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Larry.
Okay, thank you. Essentially, what this site is set up as right now is there are 6 fueling positions in this area here that are for cars. There's no real access for trucks on this side. So that's 6 out of the aforementioned 10 fueling positions are down here for cars only. There are 2 lanes right now where trucks can go through, one here and one here. Actually, there are 4 fueling positions, but if a tractor trailer pulls in, it would occupy the entire lane. So there's only 2 fueling positions for a tractor trailer. Smaller trucks we can stack and have as many as 4. So what essentially we're proposing to do is to add another island out in this area, eliminating this previously 2-way road, making it a 1-way only around the outside, and adding in a lane similar to these where you accept that it won't be set up for fueling 2 trucks. It would only be set up for a single vehicle at a time fueling. So we would have potentially 4 here and 1 more in this lane here. So if that's relatively clear, I'm going to move ahead to a couple of pages to propose condition, which looks something like
Could you hang
this.
on there before you leave that?
Sure.
That roadway, I think it was the word you used, that you're looking to cut into,
Yeah,
make
this-
it a 1-lane. That's not
Yes.
the road that runs along the back of that property, is it?
No, that's up here. That's a separate road entirely.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I wasn't seeing all the upper map there whenever we
Yeah,
were looking
no,
at it.
this is actually, I believe it's around 24 feet wide now, which is more than adequate for bidirectional traffic. And we do occasionally get people, mostly in cars, cutting backwards through there.
Mhm.
But for the most part, the predominant traffic flow is Pocono to Mountain View. Trucks have to go that way, and in general, it's easier for cars. So that's the existing condition. Essentially, what we're proposing to do is, we'll get down here, add another dispenser here. Right here, that would be the outermost one. And actually, that's just a satellite. The main dispenser would be on this island here, on the existing island. It's just going to have a hose on the other side, which would be adjacent to the driver's door if a truck pulls in. In the truck fueling business, we have hoses on both sides of the truck so they can fill tanks on either side, but it's only a single fueling position. So that's essentially what we want to do, is take away that bidirectional traffic, because that was relevant to the convenience store that was going to be installed up in this area. And the client, Global Partners, has decided that they would rather have be able to accommodate 3 trucks at a time and forego the convenience store. So they're taking that off the table, saying, thank you for your approval, but we've decided not to pursue that. And we'd like to add 1 more lane of truck traffic. So that is the essential configuration of this. I can show you a little bit if I can push the right button here and pull up the overview. This is what it looks like presently. And if we jump down here, this is the lane we're talking about. And so we would be taking this curb out here on this side. And this delineation here is going to move back a little bit, maybe around a foot, just to maintain a bypass lane essentially for this lane here. There'll be a new islands here. Whoop, right along this area here, we'll be putting the new islands, and there'll be a curb outside of them, and then we'll have the drive-by lane. So if there's somebody parked there, they can get by. So the another piece of this puzzle is not strictly speaking essential, but will be just an improvement to the site, is we're going to take this dumpster enclosure and relocate it a little bit, make it larger so they can just have a little bit, just to update it, spruce it up a little bit. I did note that in one of the comments from the traffic engineer that we just received, they're concerned about snow storage along Neal's Way. There is an easement for the town. Actually, that's in the, if I can get back to that now, it won't let me go there. There we go. This is already in place, so that should be relatively easy to address. There's an easement there for snow storage, and I can't read the note here too well. Let me see. We could zoom that a little bit. 16-foot wide easement to the city of Danbury for sidewalk signage, snow storage, and utilities. That was part of the previous project, so that's already there. So one thing I can address tonight and say, I think we're all set with that. We're proposing, our current landscape plan proposes a pretty good row of plantings across this side. Jennifer has requested that we beef that up to make it a little bit better buffer for both visual and to some extent sound deadening. We're considering that, and we'll probably bring back a revised planting plan before the next meeting. But at this point, there's the revised dumpster area, primarily to push it back in so that it's not at the edge of pavement the way it was, but also to make it a little bit larger pad, because their client's standard configuration has a recycle dumpster, a standard dumpster, and storage for materials that they generate for any small spill cleanup or anything of that nature, plus some materials for emergency response they keep in that area. So we're making it a little larger to make it more convenient for that operation. At this point, I would be happy to entertain questions.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Joel.
I'm just clarifying the points you're just now talking. In this area where you're talking about improving the dumpster pad, you said that there's a recycle dumpster and then storage. Is that correct?
The proposed new pad would have 2 dumpsters and 2 or 3 DOT drums, which would typically be, one of them might have sorbent materials and so forth for any potential small spills. And the other 2 would be for spent materials of any sort, like speedy dry or whatnot, that you typically use in a gas station to clean up minor spills.
Oh, okay. So
You can't just throw them in the dumpster. They have to be handled separately.
Yeah. There's 2 dumpsters there, one for regular garbage, one for recycles, right?
That's it. Yeah, that is I don't know what there is there now, but that's what the proposed is. You can see there are 2 outlined dumpsters here. There's additional area within the enclosure that would be for storage of the drums.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, is it appropriate time related to this to ask staff a question?
You can go ahead, Joel.
Is this whole area up here from the dumpster area up to whatever it is, and it's not Carlito's Way.
Neal's Way.
Neal's Way.
Yeah. That's where the bulk of the convenience store, I think, was supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Okay, and if we approve this special exception site plan, the approval of the convenience store is null and void. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
They've applied for a revised grant of special exception, and that revised grant will only list the gas station.
Okay, all right.
It will no longer list the convenience store.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant at this time, commission members? Anything else for the applicant? I'll ask the applicant to proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we have nothing further if the commission has no other questions. As I said, we received, I think 4 or 5 reports from various staff members from the city. We want to respond to all those in a comprehensive fashion. We'll do so in advance of the next meeting. I think we want to have an opportunity to walk the site with some of them and we'll be reaching out in the next few days in order to make that happen. So we don't have anything further at the moment. As I said, this is about as modest of an application as you're likely to ever see. But we look forward to being back before you unless you have any other questions.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone in opposition? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Jennifer, I believe we did get at least one letter from a neighbor. And if you'd be so kind, could you read that into the record for us, please?
I sure can. Larry, can you stop sharing your screen?
Sure.
Okay, I am going to see if I can share so you guys can see. And it's easier for me to read as well because I don't have a paper copy. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Wow, tiny print.
I
Hey,
know.
Jen, I can, if you're reading off of a tiny screen, I can read it. I just found my paper copy here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll give it
Okay.
a whirl.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a letter dated April 7th, 2021. It's from a Christine, and you'll have to forgive me, Bojarczyk. It's spelled Bojarczyk.
Borjak. I think it's Borjak.
Borjak. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. Below, please find my comments for the meeting tonight. Sorry for the late submission. Please acknowledge that you received this. Thanks so much, Christine Bojarczyk, 203-305-3578. In regard to the public hearing for Global Partners LP 4-Star Realty LLC application for revised special exception, revised site plan for automobile service station at 108 Newtown Road 5, Mountain View Terrace on April 7th, 2021. My name is Christine Bojarczyk. I own and reside in the property at 7 Mountain View Terrace, a one-family home that is next door to the service station. I understand that Global Partners 4-Star Realty would like to add an additional dual-sided diesel gas pump to the existing lanes as well as extend the canopy. I have a concern that additional trucks will create even more damage, noise, and traffic to the end of Mountain View Terrace. Currently, there is a lot of truck traffic that goes out onto Mountain View Terrace when leaving the gas station. It causes a hazard because the tractor trailers cannot straighten themselves into the proper lane due to the small roadway. They then block the entire street waiting for the light to change, which endangers the traffic turning right from Newtown Road, Route 6 Newtown Road. On many occasions, I have had to wait in the line of cars for these trucks to move. It is a dangerous situation, especially since a car coming from Route 6 cannot see if there is a line of cars waiting after the turn. These trucks have caused a lot of damage to the road itself. Currently, there are many deep potholes in the area which trucks travel. The owners of this property have also on many occasions allowed truckers to park their trucks overnight, especially in the summer months. Some play loud music all hours into the night. This should be taken care of by the property owner station attendant as these situations arise. Also, the property at 5 Mountain View is an eyesore. To my knowledge, the property owner has never cleaned it up. It always looks awful, overgrown grass and weeds, etc. It is also a dumping ground for junk. Thankfully, the city cuts the 5-6-foot grass at the road edge during the warm months. In my opinion, the property owner should be responsible for making this presentable, just as each property owner on the street does. Maybe some additional plantings and trees, most assuredly having the grass cut on a regular basis. I thank you for your time to address my concerns. Sincerely, Christine Bojarczyk, 7 Mountain View Terrace. Jen, I believe that's the only letter we received, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, I called in favor. I called the opposition. I read the only letter we've received. I'll just ask the applicant, is there anything else you want to say? We have to continue the public hearing, obviously. We're not in a position to close.
Yes. No, we're going to, and we'll obviously respond to the neighbor. We take your concerns very seriously, and we'll make sure we'll address those when we're back before you at the next.
Great. Thank you for that. Commission members, unless there's anything else for the applicant at this time, I will entertain a motion to continue this public hearing until our next meeting.
So moved.
Second, I was muted.
Okay, thank you, Perry. Motion made and second to continue this matter until our next meeting. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? This matter will be continued until our next meeting. Thank you to the applicant.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, as you can see, commission members, under continuation of public hearing, the matter of Newtown Road LLC, Maria and Manuel Andre, etc., is again tabled. There will be no action taken or discussion on this tonight. Jen, to keep the record straight, should we have a motion to continue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Can I get a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, sounds like Joel and Bobby Kiokio, motion to continue and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? There's nothing under our old business for discussion and possible action. You will see 4 items under referrals. I won't read the whole thing, and the first 2 have been withdrawn. You'll note 838 referral petition of Berkeley Insurance Company. That one has been withdrawn. And there's another 838 referral petition of Newtown Road LLC, Maria and Manuel Andre, etc., and that one has been withdrawn. So we are moving quickly through our referrals agenda on the basis of withdrawals. On the 838 referral, Jen, the petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC, will we be talking about that one tonight?
No, you'll be doing that one at the next meeting, the April 21st meeting.
Doesn't it say it on the agenda?
It does. I just wanted I got my agenda says draft on it. Sometimes they get updated. I get very
You missed the
confused,
update,
Joey.
Yes.
So, so anyway, do we need a motion on this, Jen?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So the matter of 838 referral petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC will be discussed at a future meeting, as will the number 4 item, 838 referral petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC. That too will be discussed at a future meeting. So 4 referrals, and we don't have to talk about any of them tonight.
No.
Basically.
You're going to have a busy next meeting.
Yes, the April
Said
21st
that
meeting.
last time.
No. Sorry.
We can't just push stuff into the future forever. We sooner or later we got to address these things. So anyway, okay. You'll notice for reference only a couple of matters, commission members. Obviously, you're welcome to call Jen or Sharon at any time to discuss those. And Jen, is there anything I'm forgetting here?
I don't believe so.
Okay, hearing that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.